Well, hello all you followers, subscribers and people that might have just popped in. Welcome to another bulletin from Solid Gold. And today I'm in King Edward's Bay in Tynemouth, and if I just spin around, there's the Priory in the background. I just wanted to come out somewhere different to do a bulletin. And I just wanted to bring you up to date with the latest news. Well, there's blue sky above me today, but I can assure you it is blowing a gale. I intended to do this bulletin using the drone, just to try it out, because it has a facility on it called Active Track. And once you program it, it'll actually follow you wherever you go. So that was the plan. And I've been able to put it up for a few moments. So you will see that in this clip. But I haven't been able to do the full program using the drone. So it's just as well I brought me Action 4 on my selfie stick. So what's been happening? Well, we've had some good weather and I've been able to get out and finish the Hadrian's Wall journey, the final stage, which was Carlisle to Maryport. So that's been done. Episode 5 has been edited and it's up there on YouTube, ready for you to see, and that will be available on Friday the 26th of July at the usual time of 6 o'clock. The week before that, and please don't lose interest, is the next episode of the Durham series, and I think, if I can remember rightly off the top of my head, it's the CM episode. So lots of interesting things in that episode, and another fantastic drone flight above the Durham cliffs. So both of those coming, well, the Durham episode is 2 weeks away, and the last chapter of Hadrian's Wall is in 3 weeks' time. Now, that's not the end of the Hadrian's Wall thing, because, of course, as you might remember from the introduction I did right at the start, I said that the intention of doing Hadrian's Wall by drone was to produce a full length version of the film. And that's all ready to go. I'm just doing the final checks on it, and then that'll be posted and will be available to view, I think it's the 23rd of August, another Friday, and at the usual time of 6 o'clock. It's not a repeat of the episodes, so don't think once you've seen episode 5 that there's nothing else to see, because the 4K film is quite a bit different. For a start off, the introduction is completely different, the conclusion is different, but also the first 20 minutes of the film has been reshot, because when I started filming at Segedunum way back in the early part of the year, I forget when it was, March or April or whatever, it was pretty dark and gloomy that particular morning, and it didn't look that brilliant. So I took the drone out and refilmed that particular bit at Segedunum, and there's a new flight. It's a better flight with more information. So that's completely new. Again, intentionally, there's more information in the full 4K film. And let me say straight away, and it's common sense really, although it's filmed and produced in 4K, you're only going to see it in 4K if you have a 4K TV or a 4K laptop, tablet or computer. And there's my phone. Excuse me a moment. So, before I was rudely interrupted there by a nonsense phone call, I was saying that it's common sense really that you're only going to see it in 4K if you've got a 4K TV or 4K device. It will screen on a good quality smartphone as well, but to me you've got to see it on the big screen because it is quite stupendous. But as I was saying before, there's lots of new information. Now, some information came to light after I'd posted the episodes. In some of the research I was looking at, new information's come up. Now, of course, there's no narration, so the information is displayed as subtitles. But nevertheless, there's a lot of new things to see and understand. The episodes are still good. Of course, the reason for putting the episodes up is to help that nagging word algorithm. Because if I hadn't put the episodes up and I was just waiting till it was filmed in its entirety and then post the big film, well, there would be 4 or 5 months go by without me posting anything. So the reason I put the episodes up is to keep people watching, keep you up to date, gives you little bite-sized pieces of what's coming. But then, as I usually do, there's a full-length version at the end which has all the bells and whistles, and that's the case in this particular case. Incidentally, the original Hadrian's Wall film I did back in 2022 has so far amassed 46,154 views. Last night anyway, so it still continues to get the hits, and that is why I've done this additional Hadrian's Wall film, and it's in the same playlist, so hopefully when people go to watch that they'll be able to pick up on the drone footage as well. Amusingly, there was quite a few bird attacks during the journey, especially when I got over to Carlisle. There was several turns, had a go at the drone. Of course, when the drone's hovering, what they think it is a hawk, because the drone hovering is very similar to how a hawk would be. You know, when it's hovering above its prey. So that's why they don't like it. And despite the fact of covering it in red tape, red fluorescent tape, and putting a strobe light on it, it doesn't seem to make a blind bit of difference. They still have a go at it. So fortunately, it wasn't, the drone wasn't damaged in any way, but you can see 1 or 2 close encounters, shall we say. It was that last leg took quite a bit of doing. I started filming at 7 o'clock in the morning in Carlisle and made me way all the way around to Maryport, which was, according to Google, 40 miles. I think that was maybe as the crow flies, or as I say in my conclusion, maybe as the drone flies. But it was certainly a lot longer than that, because I didn't finish filming till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was quite a long shift, but dramatic. And although there's no wall, bearing in mind that originally when the wall was built in 122, this section from Carlisle to Bowness was built with turf, and that was because there was no stone immediately local to the building that they could quarry, and so they built it with turf, and it had a wooden palisade, or well, you know what a palisade is. It's basically a wooden castle wall. And that was later, it was replaced in about 160 AD with a stone wall, because by then they'd been able to get some stone from somewhere and transport it in. The thing that might have facilitated that, of course, was because originally when the wall was built, there was no military road behind it. I'm just being careful here as I make my way down onto the beach. We'll go for a walk along the water's edge. So as I say, it's I think probably when the military road went in behind the wall, they were then able to transport the stone. So around 160 AD was when the wall was changed to stone. So the reason for telling you that is, in episode 5 you're going to see a lot of countryside. You can see the evidence of where the wall went, but unfortunately Hare Hill, which was the last location on episode 4, is the last piece of wall that you actually see, and after that it's just impressions, until of course you get to Maryport, and over there was a Roman museum, another Roman fort, the fort of Alorna, and a mile fort, which is clearly visible on the hilltop, and that concludes the series. So what you get in the film is the entire northern frontier of the Roman Empire as it was in 122. So I hope you enjoy it. There's an awful lot of work gone into it, many hours of editing, and as I say, it's by far, so far anyway, the most dramatic, adventurous piece of work that I've done. And when I've watched the full film about 4 or 5 times now, in my relentless efforts to make sure there's no mistakes in it. Oh, talking of mistakes, by the way, I will apologise immediately for there may be 1 or 2 spelling mistakes in episode 5 that you're going to see in 3 weeks' time. And that was because I was busy with it in the early hours of the morning, and for some reason my keyboard was deciding to play up. There was something, it's like a Wi-Fi connection to the computer, and for some reason it wasn't connecting. So although I was typing the right letters, they didn't appear on the subtitle. So it wasn't until I actually was watching it through after I'd posted it that I realised there was 1 or 2 spelling mistakes. So please don't write to me and tell me that I've made an error. I can assure you that when you watch the full film in 4K, there are no mistakes in that. I've been meticulous. I've been over it dozens and dozens of times. And there's evidence of the wind if I have thought I was telling fibs. Anyway, that's enough about that. All that's left to do with the Durham series is an aeroplane going overhead. All that's to do with the Durham series is the last 2 drone visits to Hartlepool and Seaton Carew. All the narrative's been done. That's been done for a few weeks now. And you can probably see the strength of the wind blowing me off my feet, so I'm going to head back to the shelter of the promenade here. So yes, it's just 2 decent days that I can get out with the drone to film those 2 locations, and then that's all done. And then of course I need the time to edit it. So the 3 that's left are Easington, Hordern and Blackhall, and then Hartlepool, and then finally Seaton Carew, and that series is finished. Now that might beg the question, well, what's going to happen the rest of the year? And that's a very good question to ask, because excitedly I've actually started the beginnings of the research for the first of the rivers that I intend to film. And the first river, of course, is the River Tweed. So it's almost, I'm going away on holiday in the first 2 weeks of August. So I'm intending that when I get back, if the weather's suitable, that I can start filming the rivers. But, and the but is, I'm intending at this point not to release them until next year. And the reason for that is, if this year, or should I say, if next year is anything like this year's been with weather, then I need something filmed in the bag, ready to release in the months of December, January, February, until it's decent enough to get out again. And that's what I did this year. The very first, I think the first 3 episodes of the Durham series, I'd actually filmed that at the end of 2023. And therefore I was able to keep the regular releases going throughout those winter months until the weather picked up enough that I could get out and do episodes 4 and onwards. So it'll probably be the same format. So I might get 2 or 3 episodes filmed and in the bag before the winter comes, but I'll edit them over the winter and then have them ready for release as soon as Christmas and New Year's out of the way. But that doesn't mean to say that at the end of this month that's it, there's going to be no more posts, because of course I've got my walkabout films to do, and I can be out and about for several days. They're going to be much shorter, of course, and a little bit more relaxed and not as formal, but of course I can keep going with those even when it's not sunny drone flying days. So that will be the posts in the second half of the year, I think. The only reason I haven't been on any yet, days out that is because I've been busy with everything else. Talking about those, incidentally, I'm 99% certain that what they're going to be called is Discovery Days, because I don't necessarily want them to be 100% all about history. I think it would be nice to visit a place and just discuss and look at what's there, you know, what's there for the facilities of that place and so on and so forth. So almost like just a tour of wherever I decide to go. So that's why I think that's the suitable name. I like alliteration, so Discovery Days works well for me. Like I say, I wasn't keen on any of these suggestions of, you know, walkabout with John. I don't know, that's for somebody else to do that, but it's not me. So I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to be called. And they'll be on anything. Visits to museums, visits to just pretty little towns and villages. There's a lot of those here in the northeast that I can get to very easily. But as for the bigger projects, then, as I said, they've got to be properly planned, properly filmed, and that takes time. So that's all I have to tell you on that. The other thing, which is not connected to this YouTube channel, but as you probably know, last year I was asked to be a tour guide at Howick Hall Gardens and Arboretum, which I'm still doing. In fact, I'm there tomorrow and Saturday, taking tour groups around and showing them the hall and telling them all about the history. Well, they've asked me this year, and this is going to be a permanent thing, I think, going forward, to do a drone masterclass. So if anybody out there watching fancies meeting me in person, or learning to fly a drone, or just find out what's involved with owning and flying a drone, you can sign up for those. At the moment, they're costing £25. That's a full day course with tea and biscuits thrown in. And obviously they're very beautiful surroundings, as you've probably seen from my videos. And like I say, if you're interested or you just want to come and say hello in person, you can go on to their website and sign up for those. So as I say, that's pretty much everything I had to say. I hope you continue to enjoy what I'm doing. I do like to hear your comments, so please keep writing to me, keep giving me your feedback, and as I say, you've got 2 new programs to look forward to. So on that note, I'll wish you goodbye, the very best of health as always, and I'll see you all again in 2 weeks' time. Bye for now.